Dear learners, today let us see about the introduction to electronic payment systems. Introduction. E-commerce facilitates the buying and selling of products, information and services on the internet and other online environments. As for any business activity, safe and reliable money exchange between transacting parties is vital. The emergence of e-commerce has created newer financial needs that in many cases cannot be effectively fulfilled by the traditional payment systems. Hence, the act of paying is in an electronic form and are therefore called electronic payments. Electronic payments are an integral part of e-commerce and is defined as a form of financial exchange that takes place between the buyer and seller, facilitated by means of electronic communications. In general, an electronic payment system is a method of making transactions or paying for goods and services electronically without making use of cash or check. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, one will be able to explore the history of electronic payment system and its definition, come to know about how an electronic payment system is designed and its security features, know about the classification of electronic payment system, recognize the benefits, drawbacks and risks in using an electronic payment system, have in-depth knowledge about the working of an electronic payment system. To elaborate the scope of electronic payment system in India. Brief history of electronic payment systems. The origin of digital payment is highly related with the beginning of the internet, which brought a change in the world as nothing before, and if there was no internet, e-services and online stores would not exist. The history of internet began in 1969 and along with the development of the internet, online payment systems began to operate in the 1990s. In 1994, Stanford Federal Credit Union was set up and was the first institution to offer online banking services to all its customers, but online payment systems were not user-friendly in the beginning. Initially, the significant players in the electronic payment market were Millicent and eCash, which were established in 1995 and 1996 respectively. In 1998, PayPal began as a mobile payment firm which then concentrated on online payment and started creating innovations like sending payments using email addresses, launching methods to reduce fraud and making HTML payment buttons. eBay tried to defeat PayPal with monopolistic power and marketing gimmicks, but after realizing that its customers preferred PayPal as their payment solution, eBay acquired PayPal. Google Wallet was launched in 2011 to facilitate payments and transfer money online similar to PayPal. In September 2014, eBay announced PayPal's separation. At the same time, Alipay succeeded beyond PayPal and became the biggest mobile payment solution. Due to the widespread of internet-based shopping and banking, various electronic payment systems grew rapidly along with technology development in providing secure electronic transactions. Definition of electronic payment systems. An e-commerce environment facilitates the buying and selling of products as well as services on the internet in which payments take the form of money exchange in an electronic form and are therefore called electronic payment. And the instrument used for the electronic payments are termed as electronic payment systems. Electronic payment system is defined a method of paying for goods or services electronically instead of using cash or a check in person or by mail. The electronic payment system has grown progressively over the last few decades as the world advanced more on technology development. Many electronic payment systems and payment processing devices have been developed to provide secure e-payment transactions while decreasing the use of check and cash transaction. Electronic payment system is becoming a most prominently used payment system in a wide variety of transactions since many people trust that the electronic payment offers more convenience, safety and efficiency over paper-based traditional methods. Designing electronic payment systems. The electronic payment systems are designed keeping several characteristics in consideration. Characteristics of an electronic payment system are looked from several perspectives such as technology, user and business. Some of the notable characteristics of an electronic payment system are: privacy. Privacy is one of the significant factors to be considered while designing an electronic payment system because it is an issue of personal concern, and when it comes to the introduction of new technologies is the way in which these are used, perceived and handled, leading to the major concerns due to the widespread use of social networks. Security. A secure system navigates safe electronic transactions permitting or the buying and selling of goods and services through the internet, but with protocols in place to provide safety by verifying the identity of two-party transactions through user authentication and access control of information and services. Applicability. It refers to where the user can use the method to buy goods or services. Ease of use. The system should not be intricate so that even a user from the remote area would be able to use the system. Reliability. Smooth running of the system is necessary for the system to be reliable. Trust. The user must have the confidence that the money and the personal information is safe. Scalability. The system should have the potential for development by timely changes in the underlying infrastructure. Interoperability. The system should be operable by multiple service providers. Database integration. All the data related to a customer's electronic payment are integrated in a single space. Pricing. One of the significant issues in electronic payment system is how to price payment system services. Standards. Without standards, it's very difficult to weld different payment users into different networks and different systems. Now, let's see about the security schemes in electronic payment systems. The electronic security requirements in the design of electronic payment systems for safe electronic payments are: authentication, a method to verify the buyer's identity before payment is authorized. Encryption, a process of making messages unreadable except by those who have an authorized decryption key. Integrity, ensuring that information will not be intentionally or unintentionally altered or destroyed during transmission. Non-repudiation, protection against customers denying the orders placed and against merchants denying the payments made. Now, let us have a view about the classification of electronic payment systems. The electronic payment systems can be broadly classified into two types, namely cash payment system and card payment system. Cash payment system. Cash payment system is an electronic system used to transfer money from one bank account to another without any cash exchange by hand. In this type of electronic payment system, the payer needs to be enrolled for the electronic funds transfer system and necessarily credit in the account is ensured. First, the payer initiates the electronic funds transfer and the automated clearing house debits the amount from the payer and credits it to the payee. Sometimes the funds transfer in cash payment system might take up 3 days. Automated payment to the payee is also possible through electronic funds transfer systems. The transaction history is readily available to the customers involved at all times. The benefits of cash payment system ensures that administrative costs are less since the direct intervention of the bank staff is not essential and increases accuracy. However, the number of companies who send and receive bills through the internet is still relatively small. It also ensures increased efficiency, simplified bookkeeping and greater security. But the major drawback is that the target account number is entered incorrectly, and once an amount is transferred, the bank cannot reverse a transaction. The next is the card payment system. The card payment system, a payment card is electronically linked to an account or accounts belonging to the card holder, and the card is a means of authenticating the card holder. In the card payment system, the payment can be done in 3 ways depending on the timing of the payment, namely pay later allows payments to occur after receiving the goods or services. Pay now allows payments to occur when the goods or services are purchased. Pay before allows payments to occur before the purchase of goods or services. The benefits of card-based electronic payment system are payment cards provide fraud protection and are good for online transactions since they have worldwide acceptance. But the drawback in using card-based payment systems is that the payment card service companies charge per transaction fees and monthly processing fees. Now, let us have a look about the benefits and drawbacks in using an electronic payment system. In the age of high technology, traditional cash exchange method strives to endure the competition with electronic money because more and more people prefer to have virtual wallets as well as the e-commerce websites use electronic payment systems to make payment easier and more convenient for their customers. Benefits in using electronic payment systems. It is clear that electronic payment systems comes with many benefits such as time saving. Money transfer between virtual accounts are made just in minutes without wasting customers' time. Expense control. The virtual account contains the history of all transactions, indicating the purpose or place and the amount spent, which can be checked anytime and anywhere. Convenience. All the transactions can be performed at any time of day or night from any part of the world with a minimal factor of having an access to the internet. Reduce transaction cost. It also lowers the whole transaction cost since there is no need of trips to the store, which typically cost money. Reliable transaction. Payment gateways and payment providers deliver high effective security and anti-fraud tools, which makes transaction reliable. Drawbacks in using electronic payment system. Though there are well-known advantages in using an electronic payment system, there are some drawbacks to be mentioned, such as restrictions in transferable amount. Electronic payment system has its limits regarding the maximum amount transferable in the account and the number of transactions per day. Leakage of personal information. When the system of processing company is hacked, it leads to the leakage of personal data on cards and its owners. Uninterrupted internet access. If internet connection fails, it is not possible for accessing online account. Security concerns. Although electronic payment is safe and secure, it is still vulnerable to hacking of the victim's personal and financial information. Increased business cost. Electronic payment systems comes with an increased need in procuring, installing and maintaining sophisticated payment security technologies to protect sensitive financial information stored in a business's computer systems from unauthorized access. Risks in electronic payment systems. The risks involved in electronic payment systems are on both customer and merchant side, and the common issue in both sides is the secure payment scheme. Customer side risks. If the credentials or password is stolen or hacked, if the merchant is dishonest, if any dispute rise over transactions. Merchant side risks. If there is insufficient fund in customer's account, unauthorized redistribution of purchased items. Now, let us see about the electronic payment system standards. The electronic payment system have derived the standards for the global application of smart card in payment system. Initially started with EMV, Europay, MasterCard and Visa specification in 1996 and subsequently updated with latest version EMV 2000. EMV specifies the specification for card based electronic payment on the ISO 7816 compliance and the security criteria for the authentication methods so that they can continue to be used everywhere. Working of an electronic payment system. An electronic payment system facilitates any kind of non-cash payment that does not involve a paper check. There are three main players when it comes to processing electronic payments, encompassing the trader, customer and technology. Trader. In order to accept electronic payments from online customers, it is necessary to have a merchant bank that accepts payment on traders' behalf and deposits them into the merchant account they provide. In order for the customer to pay for goods and services, the bank, called the issuing bank, approves the payment card and lends the cash to pay the trader. Technology. There are two technologies that enable the trader and customer to transact. The first is the payment gateway, which is a software that links shopping cart to the processing network, and the second is the payment processor, which assists in moving the transaction through the processing network as well as in sending the billing statement. Stages in payment processing. The payment processing involves two stages, namely authorization and settlement. The authorization process to approve the sale takes place within 1 or 2 seconds and is as follows. The customer purchases an item on a shopping site with an electronic payment card. This information is passed through the payment gateway to encrypt the data, since it has to be kept private, and sends it to the payment processor. The payment processor sends a request to the customer's issuing bank to acknowledge that they have enough credit to pay for the stuff. The issuing bank responds with a yes for an approval or a no for a denial. Thus, payment processor sends the reply back to the trader that the sale was approved and informs the merchant bank to credit the trader's account. The settlement process to get the money credited in the trader's account can take a few days and is as follows. The issuing bank sends the funds to the merchant's bank, which deposits the money into the trader's account. The payment is done for the goods or services. Now, let's have a look about the types of transaction. For all types of electronic payment system, there are three main types of transactions involved, namely, one-time customer to vendor transaction is preferred when one shop online at an e-commerce site such as Amazon. When the payment card information is entered, the site processes the entered information and sends an email notifying that the payment was received. Recurring customer to vendor transaction. Recurring customer to vendor transaction is preferred when you pay a bill through a regularly scheduled account. Automatic bank to vendor transaction. The automatic bank to vendor transaction is preferred when you have your bills such as house rent automatically paid on the same day each month. This is done by entering the vendor's information, the bank's website, and authorize the bank to electronically transfer money from the respective account to pay the bill. Scope of electronic payment systems in India. The following are the reasons for acceptance of electronic payment systems and their niche in the payment environment, which gives them a brighter scope. India is experiencing a remarkable growth in electronic payments due to the percentage of people using the electronic payment system is increasing in a significant speed. The exponential growth of electronic commerce demand greater velocity in the movement of payment system, which are efficient and instantaneous, while the proliferation of business to business e-commerce force the payment systems to adapt even greater speeds and standards of efficiency. The future generation will not be wed to bricks and mortar payment system, rather the 21st century electronic payment systems will have a great impact and simply find a niche in the financial system landscape like every other systems did in the 20th century. Digital revolution has also revolutionized the electronic payment systems. In India, the number of people having active mobile connections and smartphones are gradually increasing with a faster internet speed. The reach of mobile network internet is intensifying electronic payments to remote areas, which will certainly increase the number of users transacting via electronic payment systems. The Indian government, in support of electronic payments, has reduced some taxes and announced incentives for electronic payments. It has launched two schemes, namely Lucky Grahak Yojana for consumers and Diki Dan Vyapar Yojana for merchants, in order to nudge people towards significantly higher usage of digital transactions through offering cash awards to consumers and merchants who utilize electronic payment systems for personal consumption expenditures. Due to these incentives and waivers, even the poor, lower middle class and small businesses are being engaged into the digital payment fold. Electronic payments are more convenient than traditional cash payments because there is no need to carry a lot of cash all the time, as well as payments can be made in seconds. Since people love simplicity and ease, it is certain that electronic payments would be the future of fund transfer and money transactions. Moreover, the demonetization in the country and frequent cash crunches have made the people to get habituated to opt for electronic payment systems. Conclusion: although payment systems have been around for as long as humans have been exchanging goods and services, the past decade has seen remarkable advances in electronic payments. Electronic payment systems have risen to the forefront in response to the exponential rise in non-cash transactions, and the advances in payment technology not only allow businesses to process more transactions, but to do so faster and more securely with more timely receipt of funds. Electronic payment systems facilitates the most important action after the customer decision to make payments for goods or services in the most effective, efficient and problem-free way. The various strengths of electronic payment system, such as quality customer service, greater reach, time saving, customer loyalty, easy access to information, 24 hours access, reduced paperwork, have favored the use of electronic payment systems. As payment system is an integral part of mercantile process, electronic payment system has become an integral part of e-commerce, which is inevitable and preferred by most businesses around the world. Thank you.